So I was digging through some of my old stuff and I found this, and I had to talk about it. This is a book I bought a few years ago, and it's actually incredible. I built a force with it and everything, but like I had nobody to play it with. It was sort of a curiosity thing that I bought, and then couldn't play with anybody with it, so it kind of got lost and sat on the shelf for a little while. So I thought it would be really fun to talk a little bit about it and how it factors into some of my plans for the future. So what you're looking at is the Gaslight Compendium, and it's made like primarily for Victorian science fiction, stuff like Journey to the Center of the Earth and Thunder Riders, and I think the Shadow counts. But it can be used for just about anything, and it's actually a pretty fun set of rules. So what Gaslight is a combination role-playing game, skirmish game, and war game, and it has rules for all of those. You can kind of pick and choose a la carte from, and sort of create the game you want to play. It's an incredible set of rules, really. And I read it a while ago. I can barely remember what's in it. I remember the rules confused me a little bit. I was in brief correspondence with Christopher Palmer and John Surdu, the writers, just a couple of emails. It wasn't anything big. It was just questions I had on the rules, and they did answer them. And I figure I'd show you the force I thought up. So this is the Skirmish Force. We have a main combat infantry force. We have a tank, and we have a tank crew. In this game, you have to crew your tanks or crew your vehicles. So the theme here is actually it's actually the Innsmouth Militia, formed up of members of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, and they have this old rust bucket Sherman that they called the Kraken, and they modified it. They put all these spikes on the front and sort of a rattle trap, like it breaks down and stuff. There's actually rules for that. You have to keep your vehicles running. Um, and I can't even remember the types of stats I gave these guys. They have some example weapons in here. And I remember I tried making the Sherman as close to like its real life armaments as it actually would, but they've modified it. See, they cut a hole in the side and they actually put like machine gun sponsons sticking out. This is actually a modified Tamiya model. Which, by the way, fun bit of info. If you're looking for something that's very similar to like 28 millimeter, and you want to use like Tamiya models to do it, 1/48 scale seems to be the magic number, at least as far as I've experienced. We're going to be trying something similar in the future here. But I had this idea with the Gaslight Compendium where I would make sort of a World War everything, where there's sort of a merge, if you will, of a lot of different worlds that came together, and the result was conflict, immediate chaos. So I thought we'd take a short flip through this book and just look at all the fun stuff it has to offer. As I said before, this is the compendium. So this is a compilation of the different rule sets that Christopher and John had written. And original Gaslight is it's a lot lighter weight than this, but they show you where a lot of this stuff is at. So it talks about mustering forces, and here's how the chapters are broken down. So they've got they've got subsections. So mustering forces. If you want basic gaslight method, you've got 3.1. You have the battles method. That's sort of the large war game mode, and then you have to be continued by gaslight. That's the RPG version, and they have that method. So if you wanted, you could actually go, oh, we're going to use two different methods. We're going to muster forces like to be continued, but our gameplay is going to be more or less basic Gaslight. And we'd play more like a skirmish game. But the way it sort of works, this is a lot more complicated than like one-page rules, and in some cases even more complicated than something like Warhammer, because like what targets are hit. Like you can shoot into a unit, but you don't really affect which ones are hit. And the other player doesn't choose either. It's actually, you roll several d20s and it determines it randomly. I can't remember exactly how it worked. I know I tried it, but um, yeah, they've got sections on creating weapons, generating stuff here, generating vehicles and conveyances, build points or points to build vehicles, fantastic weapons, and stuff like laser beams. It's just very cool. And a lot of the art they use through the book is pretty great or is pretty great as well. And they have this section on things called Leviathans, which are like huge machines. It'd be like a super heavy tank. Like if like Germany's rat tank was built, the Rata, it'd be like this huge, it'd be a Leviathan. Um, from what I understood, it took like a small village of guys it would have taken a small village of guys to run that thing, but it'd be really, really fun to see it in this type of game. Then they've also got like air fleets. They've got like water battles, stuff like that. So you can have like dirigibles firing at each other. Very cool. Then here's some examples. And if you look at some of these pictures here, especially these, you might recognize some of the models they were using. So this is like a combination of random junk they put together and actual models that one would get from different websites. Which I did find some really cool miniatures. If you wanted to stick close to kind of the Victorian sci-fi feel, ironclad miniatures is definitely the way to go. I'm not sure if they're still around, but like look at this. You got a bunch of cavemen with some stalwart explorers. You've got like a mad scientist's laboratory. Oh, this is very cool stuff. It talks about every role playing game has this. What is a role playing game? And it'll tell you. Um, man. Oh yeah, it goes through stuff like spells and superhero abilities. So like, there you go. You've got Batman taking down some bad guys, and you've got superpowers and stuff you can make for these characters. Um, let's see what else. Oh, random main character skills. If you want to give your guys skills, there you go. I think this is for original Gaslight. So you just roll a d20, and it could be good or it could be bad. You could be strong, -1 to slug rolls. It's like punching people. And I think you want to roll low on that. And then, or you could get something like drunk. Roll a die at the start of each turn. If odd, the figure gets +2 on all rolls. If even, it gets -2 on all rolls. Yellow, like you're scared. You won't walk up to an angry baby with a rattle. If this unit breaks, he's removed from the table. Unit takes +2 morale, +2 to the morale modifier. So it's a roll low type system. And this is mainly for the to be continued by Gaslight, superheroes and spells. And then they have different versions of spell charts. It shows you what all these things mean. I say spell charts, I meant skill charts. They have different versions of that later on here. Combat specializations. Here we go. Advantage table, disadvantage table. It says here, advantages and disadvantages replace the skills table from the original Gaslight rules. Why change this? And they say the answer is fairness here. They said, of course, if you want one of these, you got one of these, something like that. I'm probably wrong on that, although I think the last time I checked, you actually get 2 advantages and a disadvantage. But we'll get into that when we actually play. Right now, I'm just having fun, just admiring all the cool art and looking through random rules. Like, look, that's just like a toy. That's just like it's a toy Triceratops. So you can use anything. I like the scenes they set up as well, like these buildings. I want to know where to get those. I've thought of building my own terrain. Oh man, ants. You can get like a bag of like 100 ants or something like that. Oh, we're in the generating stuff area. So this is like how to generate monsters. So yeah, SRM. I totally forgot what SRM was. Oh man, it's been a long time ago since I've read this. This is like regular animals over here. Monster vulnerabilities. In the movies, monsters usually always have like, excuse me, they've got like a weakness, kind of like how vampires are weak to the sun. So if you're rolling like monsters that your intrepid explorers are gonna run into, this is the kind of thing that they're weak against. Um, the person who runs a game of To Be Continued, just a bit of trivia, is called a director because the role playing games that you would use this for are more like you're in a movie and the movie is Thunder Riders and we're gonna direct Thunder Riders. Oh, here we go. This is how to generate vehicles and conveyances, right? So like just for fun, I'm gonna break out a D20 and let's take a look at what this would be. So let's say we're generating a tank like that. So we'd roll our d20. We've rolled an 18. Nice. So we have the save is 15. Our steam is 9. Start 15, sustain 18, and spin 180 degrees. So we got some pretty good stats for whatever tank this is. So a little bit about this speed thing here. I'm switching between this wand thing in my hand. Excuse my hand. The difference between the sail, steam, and swim. Sail is like that's like you're flying. Steam, of course, is just ground movement, and swim is, of course, you're in the water. So that's like a boat. So start is at the beginning. You got to start your vehicle. Sustain, you got to roll lower than your sustain, and if you don't, the vehicle dies. The engine conks out, and you got to restart your vehicle. And spin is like how much can you turn. So like for the Kraken here, we said he could turn 180 degrees. So just by counter turning in those on those tracks, he could turn right around like that. Which, if you ask me, I don't think the Kraken is capable of that with how bad a shape it's in. But you know. Oh, am I wrong here? Oh, this is aerial vehicles. So I'm not sure what sail is in this case. But we've got aerial vehicles as well. So soar, swoop, and surge. Whatever those are. I'll learn eventually. I'm just having fun flipping through. What's this? Oh, I bought dice a while ago. I guess I was using this as a bookmark. This is like build points. So this is, if you don't want to do it randomly, you can build it using points. And so they give you stuff like a powered vehicle means like it's gas. It's armored, then it's got armor, and if it's flying, it's flying. Um, so like, and so it has like is it a powered conveyance? Then it has 25 armored, 50 flying, 50. So that's like 100 points just for if it's a powered, armored, flying conveyance. Or if it's a vehicle, it's powered, it's armored, 75 plus 75. I don't want to math right now, but I think it's 150. Yeah, 150. So it's 150 points for a vehicle that is armored and powered. So that's just like the hull and the engine and stuff like that. Then it's like, does it have anti-personnel capability? So that's like guns. So it would be like the 2 machine guns sticking out of the side of the tank like that. Those are both anti-personnel guns. And then it's got heavy weapons. That would be the big whatever the heck gun sticking out of there. And then you can design how that works. I'm very interested to see how they make Leviathans, or how one would make a Leviathan. I know it's like at the back of the book someplace, but yeah, it gets into invented weapons. So if your characters want to like invent something, it actually takes quite a while to do, if I remember correctly. Vehicle and weapon invention. You know what? I'm going to try and find Leviathans. Oh, they give you some scenarios here at the back. Leviathans. Why am I not using the table of contents? I don't know. It's back here someplace. Yep, let's use the table of contents. Setting up adventures and scenarios. Um, Leviathan capabilities 86. Leviathans by Gaslight. When designing Leviathans, game masters may want to assign attribute numbers, or they can roll them from the existing Gaslight heavy weapon and vehicular capability charts. When setting their own attributes or rolling the charts, gamers should use the following guidelines. Leviathans, by definition, have more than two weapons. At least one of these should be either a large or huge weapon. And huge weapons are introduced in section 652. Players can roll on these charts without modifications, but the game master will have to invent some attributes for huge weapons. So they leave some of it up to you. So like here's an example of a Leviathan. It's just a great big vehicle. It's kind of weird looking, but you know, it's going to have a bunch of crew. So there's like a commander up here, and they got like engineers down here. That's so cool. It really gets the imagination going. Like, oh, I could take like a box, and I could find like track bits, and I could make a big tank thing with guns sticking out everywhere. Like here, this looks like, I don't know what that is, but it looks like a big, just like a pot. Oh, there's a picture back here earlier of something that I think it came in old like Burger King kids meals back in the 90s. You guys remember the movie Wild Wild West? Here it is. Here. So here's like the big like steam mechanical spider thing. You guys remember? There was a guy sitting right here, and they just replaced that with like a pill bottle and made it look like a turret with a guy sitting in there. Anyway, I'm just ranting about Gaslight Compendium. So I do intend to do something with this book now. I got some great ideas. There's a particular documentary series I've been having a lot of interest in, and the guy who the documentary series is about, he has a belief that falls in line with the kind of the multiple dimensions hitting one main dimension and chaos breaking out. So yeah, I think that's going to be the base for it, as silly and dumb as that is. Anyway, thank you for watching me just talk about this random book I have. If you want the free version of this, or actually I think you can get the entire PDF of the compendium. It's on Drive-Thru RPG. Just look for the Gaslight Compendium. And I don't know if you have to put in all these different periods. This is actually an acronym, but I don't know what it stands for. Is it on the back? Uh, no. I don't see it. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. I'll post some updates on how the project is going.